more to disconnect from yourself and more to disconnect to your womb. I think just a general sense of knowing that we have a womb space and ovaries and, fallopian tubes. I mean, early on in life, like in the 4th or 5th grade, I've always drawn images, weirdly. I've always loved that reproductive.
Yeah, we had that in common.
You did?
Yeah, when I was 10 and 11 years old, I was obsessed. I had bathroom vanity full of Stay Free mini pads. I asked my mom to buy, like, as if I was going to be bleeding that much, that heavily, that early on. It was just something obsessive about it. And I didn't get a period until 3 years later, after I had thrown all of it in the trash and figured that God forgot to give me a uterus.
Oh.
I had to detach from it. I had to surrender it and just think, okay, I guess that's for other people.
Oh, wow.
I'm not going to get a period because it's just not coming, not coming, not coming. And that has been a theme for me in life with respect to relationships, and hair fertility was a thing. All of my friends were pregnant first, and I just figured there wasn't any chance for me to get pregnant. Like, it's a theme, and that those themes, looking for those themes, are themes that I find in the patients that I present to them for them to think through so that they can start processing.
Wow. So are you sort of like unconsciously attracting these patients that are...
Who's interviewing you here? Well, it must not be that unconscious or subconscious because I'm aware of it. But you know how we find and heal these things are in safe conversations, right? Or some time to think it through. But yeah, there's these themes need to be presented, to be honored, and then released.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. I really also believe in the divine timing, right? The right people, the right partner, the right everything. And when that happens, it could flow really well too.
Right. But the preparation too, I really think that the things worth having are the things that we've prepared for. And then the divine timing, and then just have so much more from it.
And I think though with like the Chinese culinary, we always talk about the, feeding the body, right? Feeding the energy, feeding the vitality. And it comes to the point of like, because knowing that there's loss every month, the period, and also knowing that you're going to conceive one day, you're always building your reserves,
or preventing too much of a loss of the essence, right?
Right. So that's the preparation that I was really excited about to put into this book. It's just knowing that, again, like I don't know, like it just feels bad when someone says like, I want to get pregnant soon, but then they have like give themselves like 3 months or so to prepare.
Yeah.
Right. I feel like there's a lot of missing time that you could be building more of.
Right. This culture is about career first, right? That's the egg freezing. Is the thing that we talked about earlier today with another guest. This would be good before doing egg freezing to read Awakening Fertility and to be thinking as another layer of why they want to put some eggs in the freezer.
Yeah.
And to know what they are putting into their eggs with their consciousness.
Right. My aunt had always said, let's look at your partner too. Let's not just focus on you. Bring your husband in, let's have him, get some needlework, get some herbs. Let's ask him some questions.
In Awakening Fertility, do you talk about the male partner?
Yes. Yeah.
How so?
Well, we touch on it lightly. It's we talk about it because I don't like the idea of knowing that is just only solely the woman's responsibility.
Yeah, because it isn't.
It isn't, right? But our society makes it believe it is, and everything wrong about reproduction is always the woman's issue. Because there's a lot of money to be made on the woman's, right? Like reproductive areas.
Because we have a uterus, we want to use it.
We want to use it and we care so much about it. And again, we have our monthly cycle. So there's a lot that goes into this, our body, even though we might not choose to, but we have to because we bleed every month, right? So
we're regularly reminded that
we could or should
be creating life.
And sometimes if you're not looking at it, then you are sort of like you're in pain, right? You get your cramps.
It can.
You really,
yes. And the longing for a child, if it's not happening for you, will actually cause some pain in the chest.
Right.
A heaviness too, the grief.
Right.
The loss of the dream of it happening easily.
Yeah. Yeah. My friend who is in, she's, oh my goodness, from Indonesia. But she says that the period is, the kind of like the tears coming down every month because there's no baby that was, that was formed.
The uterus is the second heart. And so the menstrual fluid is the release of that.
It does feel like that, doesn't it? It really feels like a massive release of like, oh, finally it's here. And I could just, just the tension just gets released. And again, it's such a massive gift that we get to receive every single month. If we seriously if we look at it
like that. I was thinking,
we look at it that way.
That's a good reframe.
Yeah, it is. It is. So
for women that want to have that child palace full with a baby inside, to see the period is not a joyous moment or a cleansing. It's more of a reminder of something that they want their body to do and it's not doing.
Right.
So, I teach in the seed program that in that phase 1, those days of bleeding, that it is an important cleansing time. And once we cleanse and we release, we do make space to integrate new information. Right.
That's good.
Yeah, that's the best way to look at it if you find yourself in that predicament, as far as I've seen. That's when I like to see them during their period to help them find some new information so that then they can be set up on their next cycle with a good plan. How are we going to do this ovulation and this cycle attempt differently? Because I like to tell them if we can change things on the front end, then we can change the outcome. Right?
That makes sense. So this is why I like to bring in the husband or the partner in fairly early.
Right? Exactly. Yeah. Get him on board. So I'm opening the book to the felt sense of motherhood. What does that feel like, would you say?
What I could reflect back with my own fertility is that it was crystal clear to me. There's no doubt, even though the words and the sentence of the commitment of the words, like, I want to make a baby with you. I didn't say it like that, but I just knew that this person who I ended up marrying, I ended up having 3 babies with. And it came to us so easily that I think that was our purpose.